Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So presenting the 7th verse in the series of 108 important verses from Bhagavad Gita. Today's verses, chapter 2, verse number 20. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. So let's try and understand. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Na jayate means it will not take birth. So actually we are in the section where Krishna is describing the qualities of soul. So here it is mentioned that na jayate, or it will not take birth, and na mriyate. Mriyate means it will not die. So the soul will not take birth and neither it will die. Kadachit refers to at any time. So past, present or future. Essentially it means the soul does not take birth and the soul does not die. The second line, Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya. Na means never, ayam means this. Bhutva, so it is referring to a state of being. So it is bhutva means having come into being, and bhavita is in future tense. So neither it has come into being now, nor it will come into being in the future, nor was it existing in the past. So it does not take birth. Basically, that point is being highlighted with this line also. The third line says, Ajo Nityah Shashvatoyam Purano. So many words describing the glories of the soul or the characteristics of the soul. Ajo. Ajo refers to unborn. Now the question may arise that the first word is na jayate, or it does not take birth. Then why is again ajo coming, which refers to it does not take birth? So it looks like similar word, but it is just like when we talk that the child has not taken birth, which implies the child is in the womb. So the first word na jayate means it is not taken birth. So it is in the womb state. But ajo means that it does not come to birth. It does not come to the domain of time. It is always eternal. The time cannot touch the soul. So it is not that, okay, now it is unborn and it will take birth later. It is always like past, present, future. At any time, it does not take birth. So that is ajo. Nitya again means eternal. Shashvat means permanent. It is permanent. Yam Purano. It is the oldest. Puran refers to the oldest thing. So Yam Purano. And the last line, very, very important and significant line, na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So it is not killed. Hanyate means attempt. If attempt is made to kill the soul. Hanyamane sharire. Sharir is killed or the body is killed, but the soul is not killed. So if a person is murdered, or if the person is killed, or if the person is slain, that refers to the body, and the soul is eternal. So actually this verse is in, it's like Upanishad. So it is describing on the principle of naiti naiti. Soul is not this, soul is not this, soul is not this. And then gradually we come to the affirmations. So let's see what's the meaning of this verse. So it describes, for the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So many characteristics to describe the nature of the soul, and essentially focusing on just one aspect. It's making us understand what is the difference between the matter and the soul. So matter, like anything around us which we see, it comes into being at a time. Like my laptop, my watch, my table, the house, the car, everything, there is a point when it comes into existence. And then there is a point when it is no longer staying in the existence. But that is matter, and soul, it is different. So this is what the learning is, that matter and soul, the difference matters. So the soul does not undergo 6 bodily changes. Our body, it takes birth, it grows, it stays for a while, it reproduces, it starts dwindling or aging, and ultimately it dies. The soul does not take birth and it does not go through all these cycles because it is eternal. So never was there a time when the soul did not exist, and never in future there'll be a time when the soul stops existing. It is ajo, and it is eternal. The next point, existence beyond birth. So implications of being unborn. So like as we were discussing that womb situation. So if the child is in a womb, it is about to take birth. But the soul, it is beyond birth. It does not take birth. So beyond birth, that does not matter. That does not apply to the soul. Birth is not needed for the soul. So there is no point, that first point when the soul came into existence, because it's beyond birth. Soul does not take birth. It is constantly there, and that is why it has no beginning that way. The next point, from fear to hope. So when we understand, na hanyate hanyamane sharire, so the body is destroyed, but the soul is imperishable. So we are actually immortal. We are living in this covering. This body is like a covering, and this covering or this packaging is destroyed at times. But who cares for the packaging? That is not the essence, right? So the inside, the real thing, the essence is the soul, and that is not destroyed. So when we come to this understanding, everything becomes so hopeful, because there is existence even beyond death. So the trauma of death does not exist. The trauma of death is there only till the time I feel I am the body. But I come to a state of beyond fear when we know I can't die. Okay, I am currently residing in this body, and after death, what happens? My address is changed. So I start residing in some other body, but it does not mean that my existence is lost. So if we think from that aspect, so that way we can capture the fear of death also, from fear to hope, because then we can plan as in where I want to go after I die. And then that also gives us the capability and the vision and the perspective to reach our true potential. So what is my true potential? See, currently we are all living in a retarded state of existence. Just like we see some people, unfortunately, they are slightly mentally limited by their capabilities. They are retarded. So a boy of a certain age, his actions do not match there. Why? Because he is not in the awareness that he is of like 25-year-old man, and he may be acting like say 10-year-old, because he is not aware. So similarly, we are not aware that we are the soul. But when we come to the soul platform, then we start serving Krishna. When we start serving Krishna, then everything becomes very auspicious for us. Otherwise, we exist on the mental platform and we keep trying to enjoy our senses. And the more I try to enjoy my senses, the more I become frustrated, because that type of satisfaction is not possible. So when I rise to my true potential, that means I start living with the understanding that I am not the body, I am a soul. So in this verse, we learned about the difference between the matter and soul, existence beyond birth, how soul exists beyond birth. There is no birth for the soul. From fear to hope, this gives us lot of hope that even after death, na hanyate hanyamane sharire, the death is only for the body and not for me. And this is how, when we acquire this knowledge, we can aspire to reach our true potential. So thank you. Hare Krishna.